guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Allison Sable. I just recently started making videos about pets and animals, and I also have been currently interested in healing for the past few years, and I've posted some videos on that as well. Today I actually wanted to sort of combine the topics. Actually, I have one of my pets right here. Her name is Daisy. You want to come here? You want to see everybody? She's so excited. Say hi. This is my Daisy. She's a very sweet girl. And it's really funny, if you see this picture right here, it's actually a Yorkie. I loved that picture when I saw it in the store. I had to get it because my Daisy's a little Yorkie. She's just so loving. I wanted to talk about a couple of reasons why I think animals can be extremely healing, emotionally supportive, and therapeutic. You don't have to get your pet certified as an emotional support animal in order for it to emotionally support you. Just having animals in itself be healing. I'm just going to mention a couple of ways that I've seen myself heal through having animals as pets. I have a few different animals as pets, and as we know, humans, us people, have very intelligent minds compared to animals. We think a lot, sometimes overthink a little much, where you don't really have to, and it actually just causes us lots of stress. The difference is that animals, they're not as smart as humans. They can't think as deeply, and that's why, in a way, just them being present in the moment, because their thoughts are really limited. So they can't necessarily worry so much about what's going to happen tomorrow or think about business, and just they don't think too much about other things. So us people, we get very overwhelmed in our minds and emotions. Things can just go downhill when we're feeling emotionally overwhelmed and stressed out. I find that just being around my animals, if I had a hard day and there's just a lot on my mind, just observing my animals kind of brings me back into the present moment, and it reminds me that these animals are so present and they're just in the moment. I can also be as well, and just watching them kind of brings me back to the present moment because they're so now, they're so here. She's so cute. Sometimes being overwhelmed and in my head so much, just going into my bunny rabbit's room, just watching him be a bunny and just eat his hay and play with his toys, it just sort of like calms me down and grounds me and sort of reminds me, you're here, you're in the moment. And I think just having animals in general, all different types of animals, whether it's dogs or even reptiles or guinea pigs, any kind of animal, they're all mostly present and in the moment, and there's only so much they could think about or worry about. So just being around them and observing that reminds you of how to be that way again. And from there, you can just start to think more clearly. It's kind of like meditating in a way, but it's not really. It's just being with them, and it kind of just helps remind you of how to be that way again. Something sort of connected to that is, let's say when you pet them, the sensation of touching, that brings you back into your body. So a lot of times us people, when we're so much in our heads and worrying and thinking, we forget about the sensations, the physical sensations, and we forget that we're in a body and that we can ground ourselves. And sometimes that's really helpful when you're just too much in your head and over cycle of thinking and worrying, and it doesn't stop. And sometimes in order to connect to your intuition, you just need to get back into your body, and sometimes that really helps. Sometimes just petting your pet is a way of bringing you back into the moment, out of your overwhelming thoughts. So I think that's another way that it can be really healing, just petting your pet and feeling the sensation of that. And then one more thing I just wanted to say is that when we have animals as pets, we need to give them lots of things. We need to feed them, we need to take care of them, clean after them constantly. There's no breaks from it. It's a big responsibility, but it's also so fulfilling. Like when you see that you're constantly giving your animal life and making them happy and fulfilled. Sometimes we feel this life is just like, what's the point of it, whatever. And then we come back to our pets and we're like, this is the point. Like, I'm helping my animal have a happy, beautiful life. And that in itself is so beautiful. Giving them love, even if you're not feeling loving or you're not feeling it, giving them food, it automatically makes you feel like you love them, because when you give to someone else, it automatically creates this loving feeling in your heart. So that's also another way that it's healing. Hi, she's a good girl. The last thing I just wanted to mention is that our animals don't judge us. If we come home from a long day of work or you're feeling a certain way, your animal's not gonna be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? Like, a lot of times we're worried that we can't tell people how we feel because they might judge us or they won't understand us. But when you have your animal with you and you can just like talk to them and tell them how you feel, and they're just usually gonna love you for it, and they don't care. You feel loved in yourself and you feel like, okay, like this is a safe place for me because I can share how I feel with my pet. And a lot of times our animals, like, they're very intuitively smart. They feel your sadness and they'll come and they'll give you kisses and they'll try to comfort you. I'm not saying they all do that, but sometimes if you have a good connection with them, then they do feel that and they do care, because you give so much to them and you care so much about them, so they do give that back in return. It's not a one-way relationship. That's really sweet, and it's comforting to know that if I'm ever feeling sad and I go to my bunny's room and I just like cry, like he'll just start giving me little bunny kisses. I know that a lot of that is because I give him so much love, so he gives it back in return. But I always know that he's not going to judge me, and my pets are not going to judge me for how I feel. And, you know, I could feel however I want in front of them, and they won't care and they won't judge. And that's just really nice to have that kind of family that, you know, you can just be yourself with. So those are just some of the ways that I think that animals can be very therapeutic to have around. Even if it's just one pet, it makes a big difference. It's really sweet. You give to them love, you give to them food and life, and in return they love you so much. And just them being so present all the time, like us humans just constantly thinking about life. And it's a great thing that we have, and it's a gift to think about life. But sometimes when we just want to remember, how can I be present again? How can I just like be in this moment right now? You can just go look at your pet or touch them and just observe them and be like, oh cool, they're so in the moment. That's so amazing. And it just sort of brings you back into the moment, and then you can think from a more clear perspective. So I just wanted to share that. And if you got to this point, thank you so much for watching. I'm really enjoying making videos for YouTube and sharing ideas that I have with all of my pets. I hope to see you soon. Bye. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye.